What is the creepiest thing that ever happened to you which you still have no explanation for? Part 2. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. About 3 years ago, I heard 3 steady knocks on my bedroom window. Whatever it was, it had to be in my backyard in order to do that jazz. Was scared, didn't check, went back to sleep. The other day, I was laying in bed after having a nap. Someone tapped the bottom of my foot. I live alone. It happens often. I'm used to it. To this day, I cannot explain the paw prints there were the size of effing dinner plates in the snow behind my house on the coast. I wish I took pictures of those huge-ass prints. No one believed me. Whenever I come home, I like to sit in my car for a while on my phone simply because I feel too lazy to get up and I need time to muster up the energy to do so. However, last winter I looked up from my phone to just catch a glimpse of a face staring right down at me from my room window, with one hand partially lifting the curtain. It seemed like a head with no hair, not even eyebrows, and it moved right when we looked at each other. And I know I wasn't tripping out because I even saw the curtain move when the hand dropped it. I called the cops immediately because I knew no one in my family was home, but they found nothing and searched everywhere. No signs of breaking and entering, nothing. Never happened again though. I used to take a certain medication years ago. Kept the empty box just in case I need it again sometime in the future. I kept it on my desk in my bedroom, never touch it. A few weeks ago, I woke up with the box right next to me in my bed. I have a bunk bed. I do not sleepwalk. I did not touch the box. I would have had to grab it and take it upstairs with me. To this day, I have no idea how it got there. I wasn't exceptionally creeped out, but it's unexplainable. I've told this on an alt account, but can't remember which thread, so I will recount it again. My ex-girlfriend and I were driving to Eureka, California on vacationing in Oregon. We took either Highway 199 or 299. Either way, we got on the highway at Grants Pass. We accidentally got a late start, and not only was it pitch black on the windy rural mountain road, it was raining so hard we could barely see 5 feet in front of us as she drove. We should have gotten a motel for the night, but we thought we'd push through. Big mistake. After a few hours of white-knuckling it through rain and rocks tumbling down into the road, my girlfriend became fatigued and hallucinated an elk in the middle of the road that was actually just the speed limit printed on the pavement. I had taken an edible earlier that day, so couldn't take over. So we decided to pull off the shoulder to try to rest for about 30 minutes. The rain stopped, but it was a wet, muddy embankment that we kind of sidled the car into. We reclined chairs and dozed. 5 minutes in, there was a scratching sound that I didn't think twice about. It sounded just like a branch gently scraping against the car or something. Continued dozing and heard it again. Started to hear raindrops from the trees hit windshield and a sort of muffled slop, slop, slop. I was spooked, but didn't see anything when I peered out the window or mirror. After a couple of minutes of this, I said my girlfriend's name, and she just said, "I know." She'd been lying there awake the whole time too. We decided to leave because the adrenaline had us alert enough to drive. I remember being just paranoid enough to be whispering as she turned on the car and started to reverse. Without warning, she effing screamed, and the terror nearly made me puke. She yelled, "Oh my God, there's someone there!" And we both were in a blur of panic as she revved through the mud and back onto the highway. I didn't end up seeing anything, thank God. We were speeding away, and she told me that when the reverse lights lit up behind the car, she saw a man in a coat bolt away from the car into the brush, turning his body sideways so he could squeeze through the bushes. We were panicking now that he was going to get in a car and follow us. There were literally no other cars on the highway that we saw that night coming in the opposite lane, so we knew we couldn't flag anyone for help. We were trying to get 911 calls to go through and scaring ourselves into thinking that he poked a hole in our tire. We kept imagining the sensation of the car's tire giving out. Turned out the tires were just fine. The terror made us imagine that we were being followed at that point, but my girlfriend was very certain that there was an actual man stalking us as we napped. We never reached 911. Should mention that I'm a woman too. Neither of us had any way of defending ourselves. We made it safely to Eureka. We were never so happy to see the lights of Crescent City in the distance, the first actual civilization we saw since Grants Pass. We still felt off for weeks later. I tried to reassure myself by telling myself she hallucinated him, since she just hallucinated an elk a mere 20 minutes prior, lol. Anyway, that was the scariest, unexplainable story from my life. Never going on 299 or 199 again. I had two weird experiences tied to the Conjuring films. When the first film came out, I was staying at my auntie's with my friend in her super old mini mansion. It was a creepy house. Creaky floors, old carpet, and wallpaper 3 stories high. The three of us finished the film at like 12 a.m. and then went to bed, where me and my friend were sharing a room. I could not sleep for the life of me, considering I was 12, and that was the first horror film I had watched. The hide and clap scene had especially terrified me. The room only had one plug by the door, and I needed to charge my phone. So at like 2 or 3 a.m., I went to plug in my phone. My friend was asleep, fast asleep, so I was quiet. But as soon as I got to the plug, I hear 2 extremely loud and clear claps directly on the other side of the door. In the morning, I confronted everyone and accused them of trying to scare the shit out of me, but everyone was adamant that they were in bed at the time and fast asleep. Still can't explain that one. The second occurrence was back a few years ago when I had moved into my first flat with a group of friends. It was a total hole, an ancient villa. I had just watched Annabelle and was down a bit of a rabbit hole looking at the true story. It was early evening, and I was the only one home. I went to the kitchen to get some food and locked our back door while I was at it. All the cupboards in the lounge and kitchen were closed, and the ones in the lounge are super hard to open, so we'll never use them anyway. The front door was already locked at the time, and no one would have had any windows open as they were ridiculously hard to open, LMAO. I went into my room, shut and locked my door, then went back to my rabbit hole. I started to feel extremely faint, and, as stupid as it sounds, as if my soul was leaving my body. I snapped out of it, opened the door, and called my flatmate asking when he was going to be home, and he said he was right outside, so I hung up. I then hear him yell from the lounge and say, "Why is the back door wide open?" I go in, and what do you know? The back door is totally open, and all of the cupboards are as well, as if they had just been flung open at once. I told my flatmates, and we were all shitting ourselves. Nothing weird ever happened in that flat again. Had a shadow person come up the stairs into my bedroom and stand at the foot of my bed. Not really creepy, but my hand was in the way of the sliding car door that was being shut, and it definitely should have crushed my hand as my cousin had slammed it shut. Yet, it completely phased right through my hand, and I didn't have a scratch on me. Was for sure my eyes probably playing tricks on me, but still so weird. I was getting off work, and some douchebag military vet pulled up behind my car and started revving his engine and speeding off. He did it twice. Dude got butthurt because I didn't talk to him earlier. He was a gruff old bastard who had mental shit going on. This actually happened last week, but I was upstairs getting some chapstick from the master bedroom, and as you walk down my stairs, you of course can see into the spare bedroom. The only lights that are on are some Christmas lights and a salt rock light on the bookshelf. And that salt rock lamp never blinks, it just transitions between colors. But when I make my way down the stairs, I see it blinking yellow fairly quickly. My heart immediately sinks, because I start to second guess myself. What if it actually is supposed to blink? The salt rock lamp is my girlfriend's, so I didn't know all the settings it could do. I'm still paralyzed at the top of the stairs because I wait to see if it goes back to being normal, and it does. But then it starts blinking a different color this time, low-key terrified. I run down to my girlfriend downstairs and ask her if her salt rock lamp is supposed to blink. And I can see her heart immediately drop, and she says no, it's not even a setting on there. So we both start to overthink and get anxious. Finally, decide to work up the nerve to go back upstairs and see if it's still blinking. We're at the very corner of the steps and peer into the spare bedroom, and the salt rock lamp appears normal. It's not blinking, and it's just transitioning its usual set of colors. Frustrated and relieved, I say, "Babe, I seriously swear to God, it was blinking." And as soon as I finished my sentence, the salt rock lamp started immediately blinking red uncontrollably fast, and we both book it downstairs. Now, maybe it's the batteries were low or something, but since that day, it hasn't blinked like that since, and the batteries were still at full capacity. Scared of shitless. Only night I spent in Amsterdam. Woke up with bruises around my forearm and scratches in my back. Spent the next hours trying to get ready to get out, all while ignoring the slow, eerie music coming out of nowhere and the long-hair shadow I saw in the bathroom. Not mine, but my mom's. She said that she went to watch TV while her mom was gone, but he got tired and went to sleep. Then she hears a door open, but she doesn't think it's her mom, so she tries to open her eyes but can't. She keeps trying, and she can feel him or her staring at her. That's all I remember.